Here we go. Deep breath, sigh, pause. Many of the above. Well, I'm Barb, and this is Lost in Floss. This is much harder to do by myself, but I'm gonna attempt it. Well, this is actually my second real attempt. Tuesday, as soon as work was done, for about maybe a week or two, I had all my stuff out, ready to go. And Tuesday was like, I gotta do this. I just have to do it and get it over with. Part of it for me, spring is always a time of rebirth. It's my season, and I just love it. And somehow in the midst of the craziness of 2020, I'm finding like there's still things that bring so much joy. And as I've watched the daffodils start to bloom and the tulips come up, the ones that aren't eaten by the deer around us, I just felt like it was time. Whoops. So in what I'm gonna call my practice video, the one good thing about doing it over was the amount of ums in there were crazy. So I am gonna keep track, and hopefully they won't be quite as many as when we used to get on our kick. But I guess I'm going off track here. This is a channel primarily about cross stitch. There will still be some ramblings. As hard as I try, there will still be some ramblings. But I'd like to welcome many of you are regulars, and then there's what we called our irregulars and newbies. So welcome to you all. I hope that I can show you and talk about some things that you'll enjoy, and we'll just give this a whirl. I'm not sure it's gonna work, but I at least needed to do this just to convey to the cross stitch world the level of thanks I cannot express. The support that you guys provided, unbelievable. You know, whether it be FlossTubers posting snippets about Leanne, or people emailing me, or making comments on Instagram, or on our last FlossTube video, or even the cards that I received. I mean, it's just crazy the amount of love there was for not only Leanne, but I guess for me. Well, now I'm like, they're gonna go all over again, but you know, like beautiful, beautiful cards with heartfelt messages, offers with phone numbers for me to reach out to them if, you know, I needed someone to talk to, people who had been in the same sort of situation, who had lost their best friend, little things. I'll just show this because I thought this was so cute. Beth sent this little note with floss, and I'm like, oh, only a stitcher would send floss to match the note card. And oh, that's two. Pause. I'll just say pause. Sally, I mean, who else but a stitcher would make a handmade card for a stranger? Well, I guess people who are into card making, but really, my heart was just touched by all your messages. I mean, at the time, I read through them, but I'm saving them, and I will go back and, go through them again, because just really, really heartfelt messages. I so appreciate. Yeah, obviously it was a devastating time for many people. Even people who didn't know Leanne, I was very much touched by that, as was her family. So What other things are we going to talk about? Oh, also wanted to thank my local Stitchy group. I think it just offered some comfort to know there was going to be somebody there that I could send a fabric choice to and say, this one or that one. Leanne was always my go-to person for that. So just, there's others that have really helped with that gap. So I thank you guys. Then one day, well, to begin with, I guess I'll tell the little story. Shortly after Leanne's passing, I had a post on Instagram about a song that always meant a lot to me. It was from the 1969 movie Goodbye, Mr. Chips. And I remember it as a child because from one of our choral concerts, there were a couple boys who were at the time, I mean, we were probably in, I don't know, what grade, third, something like that, had very beautiful soprano voices. And they sang the song, Fill the World with Love. And the words spoke to me then and have really been with me my entire life. But to paraphrase a little bit, it went something like to be brave and strong and true and to fill the world with love my whole life through. So I got several comments from people who looked up the song, listened to it, and were impacted by it too. One of which was Tracy, wrought iron stitcher. And a little bit after that, she sent me a message that she had decided to design a chart in honor of Leanne. It could be found in her Etsy shop, wrought iron stitcher, and it was beautiful, or is beautiful. You can download it as a PDF. I'll probably put a picture of it. Well, yeah, there'll be a picture of it at the end. It's just a gorgeous chart. So, and she was going to donate the proceeds, all the proceeds from the sale of the PDF to a breast cancer research fund, which I just thought was so awesome. We had met Tracy and her mom, Margie. Hey, Margie. At StitchCon last year, and you know, just as nice of women as could be. Anyways, this will get better, I promise. Well, maybe not. So, resorting to my other transition. At StitchCon, we met them, and Tracy had sent this message that she had designed this chart. So right away, I went onto Etsy and I downloaded the PDF. I was just thrilled. It's very, very pretty. So, I don't know, it was maybe a couple weeks later, get this package in the mail, and I'm like, don't recognize this address. And open it up, and what did I find? But Tracy had made a pillow out of her chart she designed for Leanne, and she gifted it to me. So this is the chart. It's just beautiful. Fill the world with love. And then I loved how she pieced together the fabric. First off, she chose red because everybody knows, or who knew Leanne, knew she loved red. So right away, I'm like, that's cool. Oh, please. So she picked out her fabric and was talking about it. The hearts, of course, the hearts for love and this little heart charm she put on. But then she was talking about the fabric, the hair fabric. And I'm like, at first I was like, is there hair on here? I'm like looking at it, and then I made the connection, like this wispy, I don't know if you can see it or not. It does kind of look like hair. So that brought a good chuckle to me. But Tracy, I can't thank you enough. So sweet. And anybody who wants to order her chart, just go to her Etsy store. So then in addition to that, I was contacted by Jen Lee of Quirks and Stitches, and she and Julie Gulf Coast Stitcher had been chatting and wanted to do something to honor Leanne. So they came up with the idea, in cooperation with Beth Twist of Heartstring Samplery, to take the stitch along Leanne and I had started in November and kind of supersize it into a sale that would start on February 14th, Valentine's Day, in honor of Leanne. And what they were going to do, Beth Twist donated many copies of her chart, Baby It's Cold Outside, to Julie's online shop, and the proceeds from selling those charts, I think they had them discounted at like $5 a piece, were going to go to fulfill other stitchy wishes. So stitchers could go on that hashtag and post charts that they didn't necessarily have to be rare. That wasn't the point of it. But things that Julie could grant via her store with the proceeds from the Baby It's Cold Outside chart sales. And she, I mean, I can't begin to thank these women enough. At the time, I mean, Julie was going through her own family tragedy, and to coordinate such a big endeavor, I just couldn't believe it. The awesome part was, even if there were things that Julie couldn't grant through her store, it caused a ripple effect. And for instance, the chart I wanted, Prairie Schooler January, Pam sent it in the mail to me. So I just, you know, it's just unbelievable. And many other people granted other people's stitchy wishes, whether it be a chart or fabric or floss. I mean, there were many different things, but this is what the chart that Pam sent me. And my thought is that, you know, maybe next January's not going to be the most pleasant time. And I think if I have this as kind of my tribute thing, I'll love stitching it. So thank you so much, Pam. And I think, I'm trying to think, her Instagram is it Bogart and Barney for her dogs? But anyway, she also, oops, he's getting a little frayed. She also sent along this cute little guy, this little Bob, which I can't wait to be using him on my scissors. I think I'm going to start probably in fall sometime, so I have it done for January. But isn't that cute? Unbelievable. Let's see, what else? Yeah, it was Bogart and Barney. Ooh, we're up to 8, but if you guys are counting, you probably have more than that, right? Only the obvious ones. Another day, my husband went out to the mail and came in with a box from Country Sampler. And I'm like, I didn't order anything from there, but how delightful. And I opened it up, and it was a kit for Honey Bunny Sampler by Artful Offerings from Rebecca. And it was the Country Sampler version of this charts. The colors were modified, but and you know, anyone who has gotten mail from Country Sampler, I don't know if they routinely ship this way, but just beautiful packaging, and it just reminded me of, I don't know if people from Milwaukee are old enough to remember George Watts. The only time I got stuff from there was wedding stuff, but it would arrive in a box, and then inside the box would be this gold box that, I mean, you saved forever and then rationed them off using them as gift boxes for other people. They had to be box worthy. But along with the beautiful packaging and the kit was this cast iron heart, which I love it so much. I move it around. Sometimes I put it on my windowsill. Sometimes it's on a shelf. Sometimes it's in a basket. Sometimes it's on a tiered tray. But honestly, Rebecca, I can't thank you enough. I guess I'll show that finish right now. I have a lot of finishes, and based on the problems I had with my last video, I think what I'm going to do is try to keep this one, you know, fairly short by my standards, so that I can see how it uploads and make sure that I can get it out there this time and not have issues and waste so much time trying to get it out there. You know, during these crazy times, it's like, you know, to try to get your hair to do anything is kind of a problem in and of itself. How many of you have trimmed your own bangs? You can see, like, mine are pretty uneven right there. But it's like, get to the point where you just gotta snip upright, not across. And then one of the other things working from home is you see like people's Wi-Fi passwords in the neighborhood. It's kind of funny. One was something like, me and my wine. Like, ooh, who's that? Whatever. So I guess you gotta kind of find the humor. But I wanted to show you the Honey Bunny sampler. I have it all done, and I really am happy with how it turns out. I saw that made by Mama Joan. She was stitching this as well, and she had her finish on Instagram just recently. So it was kind of fun to see what she did with it. Well, I mean, basically, it's pretty much the same. The floss included for the ears were a little bit too vivid for me. And so originally I took the scarf color and I did a 10 stitch over the original color, which I think maybe was carnation, not positive. But then I posted a picture on Instagram, you know, better this way, better that way. And most people said, oh, they like the ears with the 10 stitch. I think it toned down the color just a little bit. But then, I can't remember who it was, but someone posted, looks like the bunny was attacked by a mandolin. And I'm like, oh my gosh. It kind of did look like, you know, road rage to me when you get a scrape or something. So I tore it out for, I think, the third time. And I found this pink, it's bright and cheery, but it's just a little bit more subdued. So I went with that, and I'm very happy with how it turned out. And just the memories of Rebecca sending me the kit. I mean, it's so thoughtful. And then it came with the backing fabric. But this chenille trim, the very last video Leanne and I filmed at her house on the 3rd of January, she had a bag of a few items, Christmas gift for me, and that trim was in there. So I thought, I have to use it. I have to use it on that pillow. And then one of the other things I wanted to show you was this red work Santa on an oil can that she gave to me. just, he's so cute. And I love the back on him. Just, I mean, even that little holly-ish trim, just so many cute details, like the rusted bells on them, the little buttons. So I probably will leave this guy out year-round on a shelf. So then well, let's do Stop the Floss, because before everything shut down, I have to go to Goodwill. That was probably my last haircut. So, can't wait to get back there, obviously. My sister was talking about how she, I don't know if somebody told her or she saw on the news somewhere where she saw this idea, but I'm like, oh yeah, that would really work well. But like, you know, if you have gray roots, you're supposed to like put your hair in a ponytail then bring the ponytail on top of your head to cover like this area that's growing in. And I'm like, can you imagine all these 60-year-old women, you know, bopping around with these messy braids, or not braids, but buns, ponytails on top of their heads? I'm like, yeah, I don't think that's probably gonna work too well. But anyways, when I was in Goodwill, I found these cute little chicks. And they've just been cute sitting out for spring. And this little guy. So the original set of 2 had a $1.99 price tag on. This guy wasn't marked. So I got him for 50 cents. I mean, I didn't ask for it, but I'm like, oh, that works. Plus I think I got some sort of a discount. So I also found some charts there. This cute little happy birthday one for 50 cents. I thought, oh, that would be cute to make some kind of little card or flat fold. There's this Mill Hill kit. There's snowman. I don't know. Maybe I'll stitch them, maybe I won't. And then this hot cocoa sampler I thought was cute. Although, like, the colors you'd need to change, at least in my book. And, I don't know. I don't think I could put I think it's supposed to be a chocolate kiss next to the stack of sugar cubes, but it looks like an emoji for something else to be in. I just don't think I could put that there. I don't know, maybe replicate what's on the other side, or I don't know, but I don't think I would put that. Maybe you guys see it differently, but all right. I'm trying to think so we're at 23 minutes already. I think I'm going to show you, of course, we've all been online ordering. And the one day I was watching the very first video from the attic that Jean and Carolyn were doing. And I love Carolyn Stash Sisters. She's so fun. But anyways, there was something I wanted to stitch that they showed. And it had been on my radar from before market even happened. And so finally I thought, I'm just gonna call and see if I can get that chart and, you know, kit it up, whatever. Well, of course, so many people had seen the video and ordered, so that was already gone. So as I'm talking to Caroline, who was just so helpful, I'm thinking, okay, what are some of the other fun charts that I wanted from market? And I keep seeing all these people stitching Harrietta and Company by Brenda Gervais. So I had her send me that with the flosses, and I'm gonna stitch it on 32 count Weeks Platinum, which I like that fabric. It's really pretty color. And then Souvenirs of the Heart, Star Spangled Spectacular, which I already see many of you stitching with Thy Needle and Thread. I love that. I just think it's so pretty. Although, seeing that bird this morning, we had a raven pecking at the patio door and like tearing holes in the screen. So maybe I'll put a video of that at the end. This is kind of crazy that the bird is humongous. Like, I don't know. And I was gonna sit down in my chair and I peeked around and all of a sudden he was there looking in. Like, oh, kind of scared me. But anyways, I think I'm gonna stitch that on 32 Belfast flax, which I also think is a pretty color. And also, another Brenda Gervais. This one I thought was really cute. Spring Serenade. On top of that yellow box. I don't know. These just look cute and not a lot of time consuming, but I got some of the colors because I know I have a lot of the others. So that was my retail therapy for the day, and there has been more, but that will come later. So that brings us to what's hanging behind me and what's not. For those of you that watched our last video in January, it was part 2 of what we recorded that night, was a consult with Leanne talking about finishing fabrics for me to use, and also hangers for Christmas Wish. No, it's just Christmas List by Silver Creek Sam. Well, for my first video, I had hands-on design, the never-ending cycle. I have it all finished. I love it. It's going to be a gift for my daughter. Well, actually, it is a gift. I'll give it to her, but I like it so much. I'm thinking I might redo my little laundry room to coordinate with it because it's just so darn cute. And I have paint left over from a powder room that would be the perfect color. So that might happen or it might not. But I forgot. We had to come up to our cabin, and we're more isolated here, stay at home, than we are at home. And I forgot this one. But if you can't wait till 2 videos from now to see the finish, go out on Instagram, Lost and Floss 2. It's one of my favorite things that I've stitched. I changed the colors slightly, and how I got enough on the bottom to finish it, I'll never know. What I did was I glued a few threads to the back side, and I glued that down first onto the math board because I knew that there was no other way I could make it work. And actually, you would never really know it. So, and I found some tiny little clothespins, and I'm really happy with the finish, but unfortunately, I can't show it to you because it's not here. But I can show you my Christmas list. So, many of you have seen this for a long time, but I stitched it on I believe it's 18 count Aida. It's kind of a natural color. It was in a tube from Hobby Lobby, and I believe it was like 36 inches long, and the width, there's plenty of width. I don't remember what that was, but I took it and made it into kind of a quilt. And so the process I used was I put SF 101 on the back of the stitching, and then I think I also put it on these strips and those strips just to stabilize it and give it some weight. And then over the whole So I had the whole front with the 2 side pieces and the stitch piece together. Then I fused fusible batting onto the back of that, and also onto the back of it has the snowflake fabric on the back. But it gives it some really nice weight. It's a little bit wrinkly from being in the car, but it gives it really nice weight. And when it's been up, because it was hanging in my dining room for a couple months now, it really hangs really nice and straight. And then this is the part that, oops, I'm going crooked here, Leanne helped me with. And it really even varied from what we had decided, but she had pointed out that there were these crossed candy canes in the stitch, and she thought that would be nice to replicate. So I found, after many tries, just this green burlap ribbon, and just made a simple ribbon. There's so much going on in the chart itself. I think sometimes we stick too much on, and you don't want your eye to just go to the top. It's like you want your stitching to be what really is promoted. And I just thought with the size of it and the rustic nature of the cloth, simpler was best. But I love how it's turned out. It's probably, I don't know, at least 4 feet long. Let me see. I'm 5'4", so if I put this on the ground, yeah, it's probably over 4 feet. But I'm just really, really happy with how it turned out. And I used 3 lengths of floss to stitch the X's, just because with stitching over 2, it needed some weight to it. I found out from other stitchers after I started about using pearl cotton, or some of them talked about the sulky threads. So I think it was kind of a pain to use 3 pieces, all the separating, but that was before I learned how to better separate. There are many things that you would think you just would know, but you don't. And so that's what I love about FlossTube. I've learned so much from other stitchers. Like, I remember sticking like floss in my mouth and then like trying to get it to separate, and there's got to be a better way. And then one day, I think it was like maybe an Instagram story, Susie Reno was like sitting there, and she's got her end and she's going tap, 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 tap. And then they kind of separate, and she grabs one and holds the rest and goes, and it comes out like just perfectly. It was like life changing. So thank you, Susie, for that. I think of you often as I'm separating thread or floss. Okay, what else do we have going on here? So I guess I will have to show Never Ending Laundry another day. To kind of like jump more on the stitch along, I think there were over 100 people stitching Baby It's Cold Outside in memory of Leanne, and that was just really touching. And some that maybe lived in different climates or had already stitched or it wasn't their thing, did other things that were really important to her. She was doing the Prairie Schooler Santa Ornament Series, and so there were several people that picked out a Santa to do. A couple people did Wintertime by New York Dreamer in her honor, because that was the chart she had used to do a pillow tutorial with, which I finally went back and I watched that recently, before I did the bunny pillow, just because I'm like, well, am I supposed to do this? Am I supposed to do that? And you just don't know how much you miss, like, consulting with a person who did such great work until they're not there. But as hard as it was when I first started to watch it, it was just comforting to see her smile and her joy for life. And, you know, I learned things again. And I think there's probably been tips she offered all along that maybe once I can go back and watch some of the other ones, I'm gonna write the tips down, because she was a great finisher and great seamstress, great quilter, great all-around crafter. I mean, her work was impeccable. So as hard as it is, I just think, oh, what a great legacy to have left the community. And, you know, she's just, I can't say enough. She was a great person, and I miss her so much. But the thing about her was she didn't sit and feel sorry for herself, like, and I think we were common in that way, that you would let yourself kind of feel down in the dumps for a day or two, and then it'd be like, okay, you know, let's get on with things here. So I hope I'm embracing that. I hope that I haven't rambled too much. I think at this point I'm gonna stop here. I have so many FFOs to show you guys. I didn't stitch probably, I don't know, not very much end of January, beginning of February. I couldn't even look at it. And then it turned into the opposite, that it just was something really calming, and it just brought me comfort. So I have a lot of finishes, and of course a lot of things in my head that I want to do yet. But I'm going to probably stop here. We'll get this one loaded into, or hopefully edited, loaded, and hopefully it won't get lost in another cloud, or I think I'll cry. But I've counted probably 13 really, really obvious ums, so I hope it gets better. I'm not used to just talking by myself. Some of you FlossTubers, you're so good. You're just so eloquent. But I think I was the kid who didn't say boo in school. I was quiet, and I think back to speech class in high school, probably took it, you know, as far down in the line as I could, and I'd be like, don't call on me, don't call on me, type thing. So the fact that I'm doing this, I feel like I've made progress, and I hope I provide you with some information or inspiration as others do for me. So that's going to be it for this segment, and I will sit here and record part 2, but that will probably be up a day or two after this one. And I thank you for watching and for all your kindness. Honestly, you guys are the best. There is no community. Well, I don't know. You know, maybe, I don't know what other hobbies, but people who are into tractors, maybe they're kind too. I don't know. But anyways, you people are the best, and thank you for all the encouragement. I got so many emails saying, when you're ready, we still want to see you, and please come back. So I do appreciate that, because it definitely weighed into my decision, and I thank you. So till we meet again, bye-bye.